Many ships in many different sectors are considering getting bigger. With competing companies racing to build bigger and better ships, these mega machines have become modern engineering marvels. This one is an excellent example of their impressive abilities. This one is almost 20 times taller than that truck. This one is so huge that it can carry an entire fleet of other ships. Do you want to know more about these giant crafts? Largest ships in the world. Supersized container ship. Let's start our search by looking at South Korea, where the record-breaking HMM Algeciras was launched back in 2020. This vast container ship can carry almost 24,000 containers on its deck. Its deck is 1,312 feet long and over 200 feet wide. That's about the size of 4 football fields put together. This deck is not suitable for playing football because there are usually standard 8-foot containers arranged in rows of 24 across. The towers can be as tall as 109 feet high. So, what can the HMM Algeciras lug over the high seas?
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
A cargo ship can transport a lot of things. For example, it can transport 8.35 million microwave ovens, 223 million bananas, or 386 million pairs of shoes. This is the largest ship of its kind right now, but it won't be for long. 2 new container ships are being built in China's shipyards. These ships will be able to carry a lot of containers. The HMM Algeciras is expected to set sail sometime in 2023, but until then, it is still the king of container ships. Now that our ship is in good condition, let's get back to work. Colossal construction vessel. The pioneering spirit is a ship often used to transport large loads. It has 2 hulls, which makes it easier to move things around. This supersized ship is 1,253 feet long and 407 feet wide. It is the largest construction vessel in the world. The Eiffel Tower is massive, but this ship is even bigger. It would be taller and broader than the Eiffel Tower if it were on its side. Even more impressive, the pioneering spirit can lift a tower that weighs 10,100 tons. The world's largest single-lift offshore operation was conducted in 2017 when the 24,000-ton Brent Delta platform topsides were removed. That's more than 6.5 times the weight of the fancy French tower. Now, lifting things on land is a pretty simple process. Many machines can be grounded and counterweight easily. But marine lifting vessels need careful engineering to ensure the ship and its cargo don't suddenly capsize. The pioneering spirit has a secret weapon, the semi-submersible. The submarine can slip its hulls underneath both sides of an oil rig topside by partially submerging itself up to 88 feet below the waterline. Centralizing the top part of the installation before lifting it reduces the chance that the ship will capsize from the swinging motion of top-heavy cranes. The ship can install or remove topsides even when faced with waves over 11 feet tall by spreading the weight over 2 hulking hulls. The pioneering spirit makes light work of moving these vast objects. It sails away with its colossal hull safely secured on board. World's most comprehensive ship. When you look at this ship, it might seem like it was cut in 2. But don't be fooled by its size because the ramform Titan is this large. This sentence is a bit confusing. Though it is not very long, it makes up for that by being wide. This ship is 229 feet wide. It has a more comprehensive back end than any other single-hulled ship worldwide. The Titanic is a ship that is known for its odd proportions. This has also earned it the title of the ugliest ship in the world. Although people might not call it that if they knew what all that junk in its trunk was for. The ramform Titan is a seismic vessel used to find and measure the formations under the sea. The wave glider swims across the ocean by dragging 24 cables behind it. These cables are full of sensors that help it map the ocean. These are stored on a series of gigantic winches at the ship's stern. Each one is longer than 39,000 feet when it is fully unraveled. So, when they're spread out over the water like this, they may cover a 4.5 square mile region. This data is used to create a comprehensive 3D survey of the seabed. This can indicate if gas or oil fields are hidden in the deep dark depths. Why is the ramform Titan so wide, anyhow? Its greater breadth aids in the ship's stability in bad weather, allowing it to gather more precise data from all those thousands of sensors. It also has a broad back that allows it to tow all 24 of those enormous streamers without the danger of tangling them. This ship may not be the prettiest thing on the waves, but it's still a good ship. It has all that it needs to stay afloat and function properly. World's longest ship. If someone made a movie about the adventures of the sea-wise giant, people would not believe it to be true. It would be a great story if the largest ship ever built was bombed and sunk but then rescued and put back into use on the seas again. Does this sound too good to be true? Initially built in 1979, this crude oil tanker went through a 2-year refitting process to become the largest ship in the world. What was the size of the object? It had a rudder weighing 208 tons, could carry 565,000 tons of commodities and be 1,503 feet long. It would have been taller than the Empire State Building if it had stood upright on one end. The sea-wise giant, with all of its breadth on one side, could move approximately 4.2 million barrels of oil at a time. To put it another way, 4 minutes is all it takes to fall over Niagara Falls. For a more detailed comparison, that's almost 270 Olympic swimming pools full of oil. It lay more than 80 feet below the water's surface when it was fully loaded with all that oil. Because of its lack of maneuverability, the ship could not pass through the English Channel or Panama Canal since it risked grounding on the shallow seabed. It was not, however, this that caused its downfall. In 1988, during the Iran-Iraq conflict, the tanker was deliberately bombed and sank into the shallow water of Iran's shore. It was discovered during World War II, but it was just too gorgeous to leave rotting on the ocean's floor, so it was miraculously saved and renamed the Happy Giant. What if you had a second chance at life like that? Who wouldn't want to be given a second chance at life? It was sold and renamed after the 2-year duration of repairs was complete as the Jar Viking. In 2004, it was sold a third time to First Olsen, who renamed it the Knock Nevis for the final time. In 2009, the ship was finally decommissioned and destroyed after spending more than 4 decades on the river. After all that fuss, the sea-wise giant is a fair way from being Titanic. It looks like a drop in the ocean compared to the Titanic. Brilliant bulk carriers. There's just one class of ship that adds the burden to the oar in terms of vessels that carry non-liquid cargoes, such as heavy iron ore. The Valemaxes are a line of Colossal ore carriers operated by Brazilian mining firm Vale S.A. The largest ship in the fleet, dubbed MS or Brazil, is more than 1,200 feet long and almost 213 feet wide. The S.N.E.S. The United States is an enormous steel ship with 7 different holds, each size of a full tennis court. It can transport 11,150 trucks worth of iron ore from Brazil to China in a single trip. However, it can't get there quickly despite all that or on board. It takes 45 days to reach its Asian destination with a top speed of 15.4 knots or approximately 18 miles per hour for you guys who like roads over the ocean. Just because these types of ships don't go very quickly doesn't mean they can't crash. In 2008, a ship called the Shinyo Sawako tragically proved this point. It was nearly 1,070 feet long and 185 feet wide. It was only a little smaller than MS or Brazil. The bulk carrier collided violently with the Lurong U-2177 as it sailed across the vast Pacific Ocean off southern Japan. Although the Sawako was not going very fast, the little vessel did not stand a chance against its mighty hull and was almost destroyed. 16 crew members from the Lurong U were tragically lost when a salvage team rescued the tanker. This shows that size does matter when it comes to the ocean. Humongous heavy transport vessels. The Biscay's MV Blue Marlin is a large cargo ship capable of transporting over 73,000 tons of cargo at once. This heavy transport vessel is vast. It's 712 feet long and 138 feet wide. That's about the size of a soccer field. And it has plenty of space for everything it needs to do its job. It was built in 2000 to move oil rigs, aircraft carriers, and other cargo vessels. This ship becomes a shipping ship that can ship other ships when loaded with them. My brain hurts. Designing the Marlin was probably pretty difficult. To carry huge products like these, the creators decided to remove the bow, stern, and even sides of the ship for her to have oversized items with the overhang. After all, the majority of freight this size is far too hefty to be handled by the world's most powerful cranes. Engineers designed a new system to solve this problem that partially submerged the boat. The ship lowers its deck below the surface of the water by 33 feet when being loaded. The 6 huge, water-filled ballast tanks on either side are then emptied. This makes the deck float back up with its cargo lifted on board. The Boca Vanguard is a much bigger boat than the Blue Marlin. The new boat is much bigger than the old one. It can carry 117,000 tons and has a much bigger deck. The Marlin was busy shipping ships while the Vanguard set a world record by transporting an entire fish farm measuring almost 1,300 by 200 feet. The most oversized cargo ever transported by a sea vessel was this 36,000-ton fish farm. Thank you for watching.